بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We welcome you again to another day of the Liverpool Ramadan program. And inshallah, today we have a youth reminder by our brother Muhammad Saad. And his topic today will be the power of habits. So I will give it over as soon as I can to our brother Muhammad. Tafadal Muhammad.
Thank you, Abu Bakr. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious, the most merciful. Indeed, all praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Peace and salutations upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his household and his companions. Allahumma ameen. Today's youth reminder is on a topic of the power of the habits. This topic comes from the book of the same name by Charles Duhigg. I'm not an expert on the subject, but I thought it would be a beneficial topic, inshallah, since Ramadan is also about self-improvement. So it's important to understand how habits work, because it will enable us to start new habits, and we will know, it will help us to understand how we can get rid of old bad habits. So inshallah, I'm going to start the presentation. I'm going to share the screen with you now. There you go, Bismillah. So, this is the book that I've mentioned, inshallah. I think you can see my cursor, my mouse cursor. I'll be pointing at things. Any animation I'll be using will be from this YouTube video here. So, as I said, it's important to understand how habits work. So, it'll enable us to start new ones and get rid of bad ones. For example, we could have bad habits that we want to break, but we will struggle because, of course, it's going to be hard. No matter how much we try, like how hard we try, we can still struggle and keep falling back to the same old routines. Sorry, something happened right there. There we go, we're back again. So in order to understand habits, we're going to look at someone, at a person. This is us, this is every single one of us. And in order to understand the struggle between the person, the body, and the brain, we're going to get the brain out of his head. We're going to separate the brain from the body. And we're going to look at it. So we tend to look at habits as one thing, which is not correct. Habits are actually split into three different components. The first component is the cue, which is normally the trigger for the behavior to start. So it could be a place, it could be a smell, it could be something you see, or it could be an emotional feeling that you have. And then the second thing is the routine, which is the behavior itself that you actually do. And then the third part and the final part of it is the reward that you get. So the example we're going to use here is smoking. So you could feel stressed maybe from work or whatnot. You take a little 5-minute, 10-minute break, you go out the building, you smoke, and then you feel good. So your brain feels really nice, and that's the reward. So again, this is how our brain encodes the automatic behavior for the future. So it's a 3-part routine, and it gets encoded into our brains. And for so many years, we have falsely focused on only the routine. So if someone wants to stop smoking, he would, as soon as he smokes, he'd throw the cigarettes away. And if you look at it that way and you want to stop a routine, you will really struggle. You might succeed for a small period, but this is the reason why we keep always falling back to the same routines again and again and again, because we don't understand how it works. So there we go. So what we actually know now is that the cues and the rewards that really shape how the habits work, and we need to understand them to be able to change them. So this habit formation is endemic to our brain. So the brain will latch into this particular cue that you have, and it will associate it with this particular routine and that particular award. So they will all be attached together. And over time, the cue and the reward will become more intervened. So the inner part of the brain, which is called the basal ganglia, will relate them together. This is all in detail in the book. So the routine will straight away become automatic. So the brain works in a way that is, if there's anything that you do over and over again, the brain will make it automatic that you will have to use less and less energy to do it. So this is why when we do a routine, we don't even think about it. We automatically realize that we've just maybe done it, or we're in the middle of doing it. So there we go. The routine. Feel stressed, smoke, feel happy, stress, smoke, happy, over and over again. So how can we use this knowledge to our advantage? There's a study done on how to create exercise habits. They told a group of people that they need to choose an obvious cue. For example, always go running at the same time of the day, or have your exercise clothes ready right next to your bed. As soon as you wake up, you see them straight away. So this is going to be the cue, the trigger. And then what they do is, so right now the body is forcing the brain to exercise. So this is the cue. So they said when you go for the jog or for the exercise or whatnot, as soon as you get back home, give yourself a little piece of chocolate. This might sound a little bit counterintuitive because people who exercise do not want to eat unhealthy stuff such as chocolate. So what you do is, they said, there's a reason for this. Give yourself a little piece of chocolate. And there we go, giving your brain feels good. There we go, happy. So researchers realized that your brain, the basal ganglia part of the brain that we spoke about earlier, needs a reward. So this reward helps because they've realized that people that ate a small piece of chocolate later on were able to start exercising habitually. So it became normal for them. It became a habit. So it becomes to a level where you don't need to force yourself. So your brain's already used to it. It's automatic. So the brain wakes you up easily. So your brain's already automatically making you go for the jog or for the exercise or whatever it is. And over time, you can decrease the size of the chocolate bar or the chocolate piece or whatnot. It doesn't have to be a chocolate. It can be anything that's deemed as a reward for your brain, in what you think is a reward. And over time, you won't need to need it because the reward will get replaced by exercise, endorphins, feel good endorphins. So what we now learn is that to break a habit or to start a new habit, we have to divide the habit into its components: the cue, the routine, the reward, and design it for the results that we want. So for example, so the book mentions that if you already have a routine already ingrained in our head, we cannot get rid of it. The only thing we can do is tweak it. So this, as you can see, this example here, the cue, stress from work or whatnot, and then he smokes to feel good. So what we can do is just replace the middle part. The start and the end, you can't really replace, so it's just the middle. So what you do is replace it with a healthier choice, for example, chewing gum or anything of your choice that you deem healthier. So there you go. If you want to stop smoking, just replace it. Understand what this is and what this is, and you replace the middle part. And there you go. So this is the book, as I mentioned. This has been very vague. The book goes into a lot more details. This is the YouTube page called the Pifio that I used all the animations from, if you want to go watch it later. The book, as I said, goes into a lot more details. For example, it talks about an Alzheimer's patient who, because of Alzheimer's, he cannot remember anything. They would ask him, he'd be sitting in his living room, they would ask him, where's your kitchen, for example? He would say, I don't know. But when he has certain habits, when he becomes hungry, this is the trigger, he automatically stands up and he goes to his kitchen and he makes a sandwich or whatever he wants to make, and then he eats, and then he comes back and sits down. Or he walks in the mornings around the whole block. They ask him, where's your house? He says, I don't know. But he'll be walking around and then he'd find his house and go back in. Why? Because it's already ingrained in his head that the part of the brain that we mentioned before for the habits is separate to the part for the memory. So his memory was damaged, but his habits are still there. So the book goes into details. It also talks about a very popular, very known coffee company and how they use the knowledge on habit to help the employees improve their habits and their customer service. And also another very known air freshener company, and how they use their knowledge on human habits and how they use that to sell and make people buy their products a lot more than they should. And yes, so that's me done, inshallah. Anything I said that's right is from Allah. Anything I said that's not right is from me. And thank you for joining us. Inshallah, I hope this will help us all to tackle habits and improve ourselves by making new habits, inshallah. And thank you very much. This has been your brother Muhammad Saad, and I will take you back to brother Abu Bakr.
Shukran very much, Muhammad. Barakallah feek. May Allah bless you and give you rizq in this life, inshallah, and make you happy, inshallah. So today Muhammad has told us about habits. Inshallah, as the masajid are in need, a good habit is to give sadaqah. So we all encourage you to give sadaqah to our local mosques. And in our website, liverpoolramadan.uk, you can go visit and you can donate, and you can scroll to the bottom, and inshallah there's links that you can donate to the masajid too, inshallah. Also, I would like to update you about the upcoming lectures today. So at 6 o'clock, inshallah, we will have Dr. Umar Al-Hamdoun, and he will be talking about his book that he has created, which is the 30 Steps of Refreshing Ramadan. And after that, we will have a recitation cycle at 7:30 by Ustad Muhammad Al-Dum'i. And at 10 o'clock, also, we have Sheikh Muhammad Al-Shar'i doing Feed Your Soul reminders as usual every day, inshallah. And I would like to thank Muhammad for his time, and barakallah fikum for tuning in. And I have been your host, Abu Bakr, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.